Have you ever been called lazy? You're just trying to find the easiest way to do something, and someone hits you with that label. Well, what if they're completely wrong? Today, we're going to flip that idea on its head. We're exploring the fascinating possibility that what society calls laziness might actually be a sign of high intelligence and peak efficiency. Let's get into it.
I mean, Bill Gates absolutely nailed it with this quote, didn't he? It perfectly captures this whole idea. It's not about trying to get out of work. It's about having this deep, almost instinctive drive to find the smartest, most energy-efficient path to get something done. That's not lazy. That's genius.
So, this leads us to what we can call the lazy genius method. Now, let's be clear. This is not someone who just blows off their responsibilities. No, this is someone who uses their intelligence to cleverly sidestep all the unnecessary effort, which frees up their brain power for the stuff that truly matters.
Right, and this is the absolute key. Think of your mental energy like your phone battery. A lazy genius just instinctively knows not to drain that battery on pointless, low-value tasks. And there's actually a scientific term for this. It's called energy conservation behavior. It turns out really intelligent brains are often wired to optimize everything. They cut out useless steps to save that precious cognitive energy for deep thinking and complex problem solving. It's all about conserving that firepower for the big stuff.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, the lazy genius is the person who creates a clever system to automate a boring, repetitive task. They're the one who's a master at delegating. They're the one who takes a minute to think before they act, just to find that path of least resistance. It's the ultimate example of working smarter, not harder.
All right, let's tackle the big one, procrastination. I mean, we've all been taught our whole lives that putting things off is a terrible habit, a total failure of discipline. But what if, under the right circumstances, it's actually a secret weapon for creativity?
That's right. Sometimes, deliberately delaying a task gives your brain the space it needs for your best, most innovative ideas to pop up. It's not about never doing the work. It's about letting the problem simmer a little before you dive in.
And this isn't just a theory. We've got the data to prove it. Take a look at this. It's what researchers call an inverted U relationship. The people who jump on a task immediately, their creativity is fine. It's okay. But the people who procrastinate a moderate amount, boom, their creativity shoots way up. They produce way more innovative stuff. Now, of course, if you procrastinate too much, you just end up in a last-minute panic, and that totally kills creativity. The magic is right there in the middle.
So what's happening in our brains during this creative delay? It's a psychological phenomenon called the incubation effect. Basically, when you step away from a problem, go for a walk, do the dishes, whatever, your brain doesn't just stop working. It keeps processing in the background, making all these cool, non-obvious connections. So when you come back to it, you often have a breakthrough.
Okay, so far, being a lazy genius sounds pretty great, right? Almost like a superpower. But, and this is a really, really important but, we need to talk about the other side of this coin. Because everything we've talked about is strategic laziness. What happens when it's not a strategy, when it's not a choice?
And this is such a critical question. For so many people, the inability to just start something has nothing to do with finding a shortcut. It's a genuine, incredibly frustrating, and often paralyzing struggle. You desperately want to do the thing, but it feels like there's an invisible wall in front of you. Your brain just feels stuck.
And this right here is the absolute core of the issue. Laziness, the genius kind, is a choice to find a better way. Executive dysfunction is not a choice. It's the inability to act, even when you really, really want to. And understanding that difference is a total game changer.
So let's really dive into what this is, because just learning about executive dysfunction can be life-changing. It takes something that feels like a character flaw, like being lazy, and correctly reframes it as a challenge with the brain's management system.
Probably the best way to think about your executive functions is like an air traffic controller in your brain. This system is in charge of everything: planning, getting started, focusing, managing your impulses. But when that controller gets overwhelmed, whether it's from stress, ADHD, or burnout, well, it's chaos. The planes just circle, nothing can land, and tasks simply don't get done.
And that air traffic controller is juggling a ton of different jobs all at once. It's planning, it's getting you to actually start something, it's helping you switch from one task to another without getting totally derailed, and it's managing your emotions. If any one of those functions is struggling, from the outside, it can look an awful lot like someone is just being lazy.
And this is where it gets so painful. You can see the disconnect right here. Internally, a person is fighting a battle, just staring at an open laptop, unable to start. Externally, a boss just sees someone who's lazy. Internally, someone is completely overwhelmed by a mountain of important emails. Externally, they're labeled unprofessional. This misunderstanding creates this awful cycle of shame that just makes the original problem even worse.
So how in the world do you break that cycle? Well, the answer is definitely not piling on more shame or just trying to work harder. The answer is a complete shift in perspective. It's about choosing tools over willpower and support over self-blame.
Honestly, the most powerful thing you can do is understand the why behind your struggle. That aha moment when you realize, wait, I'm not a lazy person, my brain's air traffic controller just needs some help, that is everything. From that point on, you can stop beating yourself up and start looking for the right tools to get the job done.
And thankfully, there are some incredible, proven tools that can help. First, you have to break tasks down into ridiculously tiny steps. Don't think, write the essay. Just think, open the laptop. Then write one sentence. Another one that's like magic is body doubling, just working alongside someone else, even quietly on a video call. You can also use timers like the Pomodoro technique to create short, focused sprints. And finally, get everything out of your head. Your brain is for having ideas, not storing them. Use calendars, alarms, and checklists to free up that mental space.
And this quote from a student, wow, it just says it all. Can you imagine carrying that feeling of being broken for years, only to finally learn that what you're experiencing is real, it has a name, and you're not alone? That moment of understanding isn't just information, it's hope. It's the beginning of a way forward.
And that's really what we want to leave you with. It's time to stop asking, am I lazy? Just throw that question out. The better, more compassionate, and frankly, more intelligent question to ask is this: what is my brain trying to tell me? Is it telling me to find a smarter, more efficient path? Or is it telling me that it's overwhelmed and needs more support, better tools, and a lot less shame? Listening for that answer, well, that could change everything.